Christmas dinner. The table was crowded with noise, clinking silverware, forced laughter, the stale smell of turkey reheated one too many times. My father raised his glass, cleared his throat, and spoke with the confidence of a man who thought his words were law. "You're not getting any inheritance, Sarah," he said, his eyes boring into mine. "Your brothers deserve it. They stayed. They built families. You chose your own path." I felt every eye turn. My brother smirked, wives smothering laughter behind napkins. I kept chewing, my fork steady, my face calm. I had prepared for this moment for years. I didn't flinch. I didn't argue. I just nodded, swallowed, and passed the gravy bowl to the brother who once stole my college fund to buy his first car. That's when the gasp cut the air. My nephew, too young to understand discretion, blurted out the words that froze the room. "Aunt Sarah is on Forbes' billionaire list." Silence. Thick, suffocating silence. Forks hovered midair. Faces drained pale. Eyes darted between me and the glowing screen of his phone. I didn't say a word. I just smiled, faint and controlled, as if I had been waiting for this exact moment to arrive. Backstory. It hadn't always been like this. When my mother was alive, she treated me as her equal, encouraged me, pushed me to dream bigger than this small town could contain. My father, though, always saw me as less. A daughter wasn't an heir. A daughter was disposable. When I left for college, I worked 3 jobs, slept in my car some nights. My brothers called me stupid for chasing a business degree instead of marrying rich. My father told me not to expect a safety net. "Family helps those who deserve it," he'd said. I believed him, so I built my own net. Discovery of betrayal. Over the years, I learned how deep the favoritism ran. My brothers' failed ventures were secretly financed with my father's money, their debts forgiven, their homes' down payments disguised as loans. Meanwhile, when I asked for help starting my first company, my father laughed. "Stick to something safe, Sarah. You're not cut out for risk." That laugh branded me. It burned hot in my chest every time I stayed up coding, every time I pitched to investors who slammed doors in my face. Every time I ate ramen while my brothers flaunted vacations my father paid for. He didn't just doubt me, he erased me. The shift. I stopped seeking approval. I stopped coming home for holidays. I poured everything into my companies, into ideas no one believed in, until they worked. One by one, the ventures grew, partnerships inked, assets multiplied. And slowly, very quietly, I learned to weaponize invisibility. The less they expected from me, the more dangerous I became. The execution. I built a network they could never comprehend. Lawyers, accountants, silent partners, people who understood the value of shadows. I kept my success private, buried under shell companies, quiet investments, and NDAs. I let the world underestimate me, until Forbes made the mistake of pulling back the curtain. And suddenly, the secret was out. The climax. Back to Christmas dinner. My nephew's voice still echoed, "Billionaire list." My father blinked hard, confusion twisting into disbelief. That can't be right. But the number on the screen was undeniable. 9 zeros after my name. My brothers' wives stared, their smiles collapsing. My brothers looked at me as if I'd committed treason. My father's lips quivered, his fork clattering onto the plate. I leaned back in my chair, folded my hands, and finally spoke. "You're right, Dad. I don't need the inheritance. Keep it. They'll need it more than I ever will." The words slid out smooth, sharp enough to cut. His jaw tightened. Rage, pride, regret, an ugly cocktail he couldn't swallow. For decades, he'd held power by dangling his approval, his money, like crumbs. And in one sentence, I'd burned his leash to ash. He opened his mouth to retort, but no sound came. He looked small, shrinking before the very daughter he dismissed. Resolution. The rest of dinner was quiet. No more smug remarks, no more laughter, just silence, punctured only by the clinking of my fork as I finished my plate. I didn't stay for dessert. I stood, thanked them for the meal, and walked out into the cold night air. Behind me, I heard my brothers whispering, already calculating, already desperate. My father sat motionless, a king who realized too late that his crown meant nothing outside his crumbling kingdom. I didn't need revenge served hot or loud. I served it cold, in silence, wrapped in numbers they could never touch. As I stepped into my car, the reflection of the house glimmered in the rearview mirror. Warm lights, but no warmth. A cage I'd escaped long ago. I smiled to myself. They thought cut and cut.